Today's program is brought to you by the Museum of Food and Drink, sparking curiosity about food with exhibits you can eat. For more information, visit mofad.org.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. We're a member-supported food radio network broadcasting over 35 weekly shows live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. Join our hosts as they lead you through the world of craft brewing, behind the scenes of the restaurant industry, inside the battle over school food, and beyond. Find us at heritageradionetwork.org.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Sitting still, smoking cigarettes in my windowsill. And I love you, I know I always will. I can't keep from crying. What good does it do? Tell me how I'm gonna feel. I know it's my own fault that I'm unwell. Shouldn't hurt so bad. Got love. Love should be enough. Love should be enough. Love. Love should be enough. Yeah. Probably just a city getting to my mind, rattling everything that's not nailed down inside. All I know is in my younger days, I never felt the hurt of watching one of us in my life. So what good does it do for me to tell you how I feel? I'll just end up justifying my will. I should just keep my big mouth shut. Love should be enough, baby. I know that love should be enough. Love, love should be enough.
Welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am with Nic Adler of Goldenvoice, culinary director
for Coachella.
For Coachella,
yeah,
director of food for other festivals as well. Welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So you've been in the music game for a while. How many years have you been working in shows and working in booking?
I was born in 1973.
And you were sort of born into it.
And so I would say that June 10th, 1973. I had a lot of memories of waking up in the studio in the middle of the night, getting put in a car, or being at a show and falling asleep in a dressing room. So definitely from very early on, since I was a baby, was something to do with music. Or studio or live shows.
And growing up, when music was around, was food a big part of growing up, or did food come later into your life?
It was really important, and I only know that because every time I tell my wife about some place that I've been to, it's followed up with a food story.
It's funny when someone else points that out to you when you think it's normal, and you're like I didn't eat like that growing up. It's like, oh, food was always there.
Yeah, my dad started the Roxy in 1973, and also was a partner in the Rainbow, which was across the driveway. And I would get dropped off at school every day at 2 or 3 o'clock, and then somebody would come pick me up, my dad, my mom, or someone at around 6. So I had this 3-hour time window where I would jump back and forth between the Rainbow kitchen and the Roxy. So I was either trying to jump my skateboard off the stage at the Roxy or see how far I could throw pizza dough at the Rainbow. So there was that was a lot of my youth, was bouncing back between those two.
So it seems like food and music has been a big part of your entire life.
Yes, definitely have been.
So let's jump a little bit further ahead, because in a couple of weeks we have one of the world's biggest festival, Coachella.
Yeah, definitely one of them.
I would say top. I would say biggest in America. Coming up, which is now known to have an equal food component to the music component. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the early days.
Okay.
And what was Coachella and the food scene like on site in 1999?
I think like most festivals, it was about the band on stage. So before even everything else was built out, it was chain link fences, porta potties, a couple water stands, a burger place, a pizza place, and the stage. And I think all festivals, whether it was the US Festival or Live Aid or Coachella, they all started in that place. And festivals were about the music. My dad did one of the very first music festivals, Monterey Pop, and the same thing went for that. People came for the music. There was no art component. There was no 360 of a festival.
It wasn't just specific to food.
Right.
It was literally just, there's one artistic endeavor we're here to see, and it's the music.
That's right. And then that's changed over years with festivals like Outside Lands, really showing that there was an importance of food at the festival. Coachella with the art, that was a huge component from day one. It was a music and arts festival. And I had gone to Coachella probably, this is our 18th year. I've maybe missed 2 years, and I've only worked here for 4, so most of the years I've been going to Coachella was as a fan. Yeah. And luckily, I had insight to what that experience was.
As a fan.
Yeah. Right. And so you have the best location, you have the best art, you have the best bands in the world. It just seemed like there was this component that was just sitting out there waiting for someone to do something with it.
So what year did this culinary shift begin to start in the programming? And did you even look at it as programming, or was it just sort of simple start of, we're just going to offer better food than just the sign that says pizza or the sign that says corn dogs?
Right. It all started actually with, I went to a UCLA football game with Paul Tillett, the founder of Coachella.
What year?
This was in the fall of 2013. And we were sharing a beer, and the conversation of beer came up. And then I said, well, I think Coachella could actually have a beer program or a selection. I think at that time it was not that many choices, and I just felt like, and I try to always go back to music. So I was like, the craft beer scene is the music scene in the 1980s. It's labels are popping up. People are signing on these craft breweries. They're collaborating with each other. They are marketing in a different way. It's hot, It was a trend. And so that's how I tried to explain it to Paul, was that there's something out there that's on the same track as music, but it has to do with culinary. And then in that same conversation came up, I think there's an opportunity to do something with the food. So I went home that night and, wrote what maybe in my mind was like a manifesto of how to integrate food and beverage into Coachella. And he called me the next morning and asked me to come into the office, and I came in and he said, these are my two partners, and I met them, and then I walked out an hour later tasked with trying to, start a food program at Coachella.
So it seems like there wasn't any resistance, or just, I guess around 2013, food had really, as far as mainstream as like an art form into itself, was really in its blossom. Like it had really hit its stride. There's no denying that food was not this like, oh, we're really into food now, and then it was going to pass. Like it was just booming.
There was no stopping that.
There's no stopping that. So how did you get started in, it's one thing, you write the manifesto, you convince everyone, and yes, there's Outside Lands, but, there are also some other food festivals who will not be named that, like, tried and didn't do so well as having these, like, gourmet components. How did you start to think about implementing it and getting to be honest, the attendees to start changing their mind about the way they ate at festivals?
Right. So at Coachella, most of the people are always going to come for the music, and I think that's going to be true to any festival that started as a music festival. So there's a company that we work with, and they handle like this they handle the food and beverage production, but they handle the festival vendors, the ones that go, the spicy pies, the white guy pad thai, the ones that kind of travel from festival to festival, and you need that. And that's a core to feeding people, because most people want a $7 piece of spicy pie that's humongous, and it fuels them, and they can keep going, and they can do what they do.
Sometimes when you're walking from stage to stage, you don't want to like sit down and have a dinner. You want to grab the chicken fingers.
I was never trying to change the whole food program. What I was trying to do is slowly take chunks of people out of that 100% and say, maybe there's 10% of the people that are looking for something different, or 20%, and we've grown that number. First year, Chris from Night Market was a friend. Nick from Everly was a friend. Church Key, the Kazanori guys. I basically went to places that I had spent a lot of time with, and I knew on a friend level I could talk to them and kind of hoax them into coming out to the desert.
I mean, here's the pitch, right? I'll get you whatever you need to Coachella. You can cook on site. How does that sound? They're just like, yes?
No, they didn't like that. No, it was very scary, because I think most people that, maybe not festival goers, but you go to a chef that spend most of his time in the kitchen and you say Coachella, the desert, and so then they have this image of them cooking at Burning Man. With this large thing driving by with a windstorm coming across them, and then they're trying to put out like this very kind of complicated dish. So I had to get them out there and show them that 99% of the field was green.
Polo grounds,
that there was a CVS down the street, and it was in a civilized place. But then we actually got them out there, and then all those things happened. The windstorm happened, and the fryers didn't work. And Tal from Crossroads is packing up Saturday morning, and Chris is packing up on Sunday morning and leaving. And it was nothing short of a disaster in year one.
But how was the response? I mean,
and the response side too was you. Anything like Coachella that's been going on for years or anything like that, change is going to take time, because most of these festivals, most of these things that we go to that we're really used to enjoying, we are creatures of habit. We go through the same entrance. We meet our friends at that same bar. We hit that same pizza spot that we had that one night. So you have all these kind of repetitive behaviors that happen. So how do you change that and then say, here, come have this amazing kale Caesar salad. When there used to be like, that's not my mindset, is searching that out, or quinoa, or some of the things that we were, even a burger that was a little more expensive or a little more complicated. Those things just weren't on people's radar, and it took a year of failure. Then it took understanding that we had to keep the chefs happy. If we could get past that point, then they would understand what kind of food to put out. First year I said, I want you to bring your kitchen, and exactly what you're putting on the table, I want you to put that out at Coachella.
Right.
Which, again, like a kale Caesar now might be very different. You put out a kale Caesar salad just because it might happen. But 3 years ago, I know it sounds short, or 4 years ago, there was just people didn't understand that at all.
I don't disagree with you. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about the follow-up years. We're going to talk about this year's festivals and the heavy hitters that you have coming. We have a live track from the archives here on Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.org.
Lift your tired heart now, darling. Lift it up into the air. And I will notice you in this crowded room and whisper in your ears. Lift your tired head down, darling. Lift it up into the air. And I will float to you in this crowded room. Let's get us out of here. No paper in my pockets now, but I will, I swear. Honey, know you're tired of losing. It's a million to one, I know, Lord. For your lily hand in mine. This is a ballad of a passion mind. Lift your heart. Oh. Eyes now, darling, hold back your pretty head. As long as my heart keeps pumping blood, ain't gonna disappear. I'm running out of love now, darling, I really don't care. Ain't got no paper in my pockets now, but I will, I swear. Tired of losing to me and the wall, I know, Lord, for your lily hand in mine. This is a ballad of a passion mind. Honey, ain't no lucky man, but I do what I can. I could buy you a diamond ring, 'cause now these songs that ain't gonna stay. I could buy you a ballroom gown and twirl you around somewhere downtown. This is a ballad of a passion man. Lift your heart. Lift your heart. Lift your heart. As long as my heart keeps pumping blood, 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 pumping blood. Blood, 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 blood.
Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. I'm here with Nic Adler, food and beverage director for Coachella, and you had your first year. You worked out some of the kinks.
Yep.
Now it's 2014. How do you go into it programming? How do you go into it learning from your mistakes and improve and getting people more comfortable with the idea of having more gourmet food at the festival?
I think that was an understanding, that idea of gourmet food or high-end food. It didn't all have to be high-end food. It had to be the food that people were talking about, understanding trends in food. 2015, I kicked myself that we didn't do poke that year.
Right, because that was the poke explosion.
Right, I missed it. Right, so I got it the next year. It was fine. It still did great. No one really knew. But I felt like it was my job to identify those trends and make sure that they were breaking at Coachella. Similar, and that's how I looked at Paul looks at the lineup. You have the bands that everybody knows. You have Radiohead.
Sure.
But then you got this middle tier that pretty much people feel consistent with. They might go to it often, and then you have this discovery mode. And I felt that what a cool place to be in, that we could be part of that discovery, the After's ice cream explosion of the warm donut with a crazy fruity pebble ice cream inside, or something like a sumo dog, which is this Japanese themed panko crusted hot dog topped with this Japanese explosion on top. So it was just understanding trends, and then again, there was a lot of back of house things. It was how do we interact with these chefs? Chefs they're so into their four walls, and they know where everything is, and they're yes chef, no chef, and they were showing up in that first year, and I was like, I don't know chef. And
which they don't ever want to hear.
Right, and then even worse than that, a real no chef.
I'm sorry, chef.
Yeah,
no.
Yes, exactly.
And especially those types of guys, and because you had heavy hitters from the LA scene from the get go. It wasn't just nobodies who were coming in and just have restaurants.
No, it was Joseph Centeno in that very first year.
They care about their food. And that's, I think, one of the things that when you work enough with chefs, you no matter the situation, if they're putting their name out there and putting a dish out, they want it to be the best dish possible.
And it should be.
So, what type of changes for the back of the house did you make? Did you start bringing in the kitchens? Did you start sort of just analyzing what dishes work, what didn't work? Did you help them curate their menus to guide them to success?
I think a little bit of all of that. Just quickly on the back of house side, it was more staff understanding how to load them in properly, getting them in a day early. They just weren't fast. They didn't move quickly like a festival vendor comes in. They could probably show up 2 hours before and be pumping out hundreds of thousands of pizza within a couple hours, where these restaurant chefs took a little bit of time. So understanding the pace of things, giving them more time, giving them more support, dedicating people to them, and then as far as the menus, paring them down, getting them away from 6-7 items down to 2 featured items, a featured item, and 2 or 3 sides, showing them putting a burger for $23 on the menu no matter how great that burger is just a disconnect at a festival.
Sure.
That doesn't mean that a $16 burger, when you add bacon, avocado, and truffles, and it becomes a $50 burger, that works for some.
Right.
For not for everybody, but what I'm saying is, it was this perception of coming up and that's I'm just not going to touch a $23 burger, but they actually walked away paying $24 for something similar.
Yeah. And have you now seen a few years in the shift from both the concert goers and the chefs?
Yes, completely. There's a anticipation for the food program. There's an understanding that someone's actually going through and curating this chef lineup, and I think people get excited for that. There's these restaurants. What we've tried to do this year is not only look at Southern California, but we've pulled some in from New York. We have a Miami crew. We have some chefs coming from Chicago.
You got Paul Kahn.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome. But before we talk about the chefs coming this year, you've even raised the game even more with your partnership with Outstanding in the Field.
Right.
Can you talk about how that partnership started and what the experience is like?
we were trying to find a way to do a sit-down restaurant at Coachella, and just running the models. We just didn't know how to do it, and the failure rate was too high, and I was trying to not to fail. So
Sure.
in my search, I found Outstanding in the Field, and this winding table,
It's amazing.
linens, glassware, the opposite of what every experience I ever had at a festival was. And how can I mix these two things and put this beautiful table, well-known chefs, winemakers, and then none of that even mattered. The conversation at the table, a 22 and a 23-year-old couple sitting across from a 40-year-old couple. One was from this part of the country, this one was this. Then they start talking. They pour each other a glass of wine. They're sharing the beautiful salad from the farmer down the street, and they realize that there's 4 or 5 bands that they love, that they have these connections, and then they become friends for life.
Yeah.
And for me, food was always about bringing people together at a table and having conversation and creating those relationships that last forever. And that's what I think we were trying to do with Outstanding in the Field. And I don't want to say the food and the chefs and the wine is a bonus, but you remember those moments, but friendship and that time you spent at the table is something that's going to last forever.
I remember the meal that I had at Turin on site at Coachella.
Uh-huh.
And that moment of sitting down while the music's coming from y'all sides at a festival was so special and unique that it's one of my favorite concert moments ever, because it was so unexpected.
How could your favorite concert moment have to do with sitting down at Turin at a it's crazy.
I know,
right?
it's I mean, but that's the thing. And so even when the year rolls around and the lineup is announced, I know people are equally, at least from like a festival goer and like a media side, they now expect like a solid lineup for chefs.
I know.
Like it's you've I don't want to say victim of your own success, but now it's like, oh, who are we bringing this year? So who are you bringing this year?
In Outstanding in the Field or just in general?
We can talk about Outstanding in the Field, and then we can talk about the chefs as well.
So, Outstanding in the Field, we have some serious LA favorites like Neil Fraser,
Shout out.
Nicole and his brother Arjun, Bruce Kalman, Perry from Forage, Naisha, Dakota.
Yeah, you have a whole like power woman.
Yeah, I always, you know what, it's, I want to, it is intentional, and I don't want it to be on one night. I honestly wish that it was peppered throughout the entire thing. I just, scheduling, and we need, we need to empower, we need to make sure that we're integrating that these lineups are looking equal. There are just as many great female chefs as there are men chefs.
Absolutely.
But for some reason, I got to stick 3 of them on one night. So
it happens. I know the festival's sold out, but can you still get tickets through the Outstanding in the Field? That's actually the biggest secret for people who are inside knowledge of food. Yeah,
and I think we did that because it was actually, it's been pretty funny. Is a couple years we forgot to bundle. We forgot to make sure that you had a ticket to Outstanding in the Field. So we'd get this radio call. We have a group of 4 at the front gate for Outstanding in the Field, and they actually bought tickets to Outstanding in the Field, but didn't really want to go to Coachella, and so they never bought the Coachella ticket, but they just bought the Outstanding in the Field dinner. And there was, and so there was just a thought that maybe we could do something great for people, is if they really saw a dinner or something that they liked, that they had access to get in. And so we were able to do a cool bundle with the tickets. And the only way to get Coachella tickets through us is to buy an Outstanding in the Field dinner, and then you could purchase passes with that. I mean, which is very awesome and very cool for anyone who, and the added bonus is probably one of the best meals you're ever going to get. Not just at a festival. Yeah. The last point I want to touch on, and this is one of the things in reading more about the festival and things like that, is that, look, you're out in the desert, you're out in the field, you're bringing everything in, everything out. But sustainability is a big thing for you guys. Yes.
how do you bring sustainability in your approach to food, and what programs are you looking to do so that it's sort of pack in, pack out, waste as little as possible?
Right. Some people say that their festival is a green festival. I've heard that term, or it's a sustainable festival. Just that is not a true statement. Bringing 100,000 people or 10,000 people to a certain area, and trucks and cars and everything that gets them there, and then they eat a lot of food and there's a lot of waste, like that is not sustainable. But what we can do is make sure that at every point we're doing what we can. So we have a solid composting program, which is very tough to do in the desert with the things that come along with composting and flies and just that. Also, everyone buys their small wares through the festival, and so we give a catalog where everything is compostable. Everything is something that we can break down, and we handle. We have an internal what we call a resource department, which is our trash and recycling, and everything is done through us, and we break it down, and then we bring it to a place that then the trucks come and pick it up. So again, it's festivals are not sustainable, they're not green, but you can look at different points of the process and make sure that you're doing everything you can to limit the impact.
Yeah. Well, Nic, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is so awesome. As a first music fan, well, I guess I've been in love with food and music my whole life, but I just didn't realize how much I love food. I knew I loved music.
Yep.
It sounds like you did too. And then
same place.
Then you realize, oh wait, I really love food. I appreciate what you are doing, what you guys are doing. I'm very excited to eat my fill at the festival this year. For everyone who is still looking for a way into the festival, do yourself a favor. Get on these dinners.
Yes, for sure.
I've done it. It is one of the best things you can do at a festival, and It's weird because you don't realize how much you're facing the stage and listening to music and dancing, which is awesome. But to add in this component where you're actually going to meet strangers and talk to them just brings this whole rounded experience.
Well, I also think that's the difference between a concert and a festival.
Absolutely.
And I think we're helping change the way that people festival.
Exactly.
As a verb.
Exactly. It's a real full experience.
360
experience. Coachella.com is the website. Yep. Instagram. Where can people see any of the food pics? I know we're going to be posting some.
I think they're going to be out everywhere. There'll be some on our Instagram, and then on the Coachella website, we'll also have a page dedicated to. It's already up as far as Outstanding in the Field chefs, and then all the restaurants will be on there as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We have another. Thank you. We have another live song from the archives on Snacky Tunes, and then a live performance coming up in the second half of the show here on heritageradionetwork.org.
Don't you tell them what to do. Just sit yourself down and don't do these things to you. Down, never between us. How you see right through that hard pride. That pride you got means everything to you. When I hit you on the knuckle, baby, look me dead in the eye. Watch you see it right through me too. Tambo solo. You're so good. Keep your pride. You find somebody else that will keep all your actions you're doing justified. We're gonna destroy this room, right, Andy? Ready? Okay.
Hi, I'm Dave Arnold, the host of Cooking Issues on the Heritage Radio Network. We all know and love Chinese takeout dishes like General Tso's chicken and egg rolls, but here's the thing. Even though we call it Chinese food, it's not like the food you'd find in China. What's the story behind this cuisine, and how did it become so popular that you can find a Chinese-American restaurant in nearly every town in the country? The answers may surprise you. Visit the Museum of Food and Drink in Brooklyn and see our newest exhibition, Chow, Making the Chinese-American Restaurant. Chow engages visitors with compelling accounts of how Chinese immigrants overcame racism and created Chinese-American cuisine. Discover the science behind the flavors of your favorite takeout dishes, feast on rotating tastings developed by the country's most talented Chinese-American chefs, and try your hand at writing your own fortune, which will be baked into actual cookies by a 1,500-pound fortune cookie machine. What better way to learn, connect, and eat? You can visit Chow at the Museum of Food and Drink on Fridays through Sundays from noon to 6. Tickets and more information can be found at mofad.org.
Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. I'm here with Lou and Ben, who make up Winstons. Welcome, boys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Really good to have you in
Very glad to
studio.
be here.
Yeah. So, how did you make it to Brooklyn from Virginia?
By car, I-95 north.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you stop? Did you take any scenic routes?
Yeah, I think we stopped at Walt Whitman on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Have you ever
Did you
met
go
it?
direct?
stop.
Did you? Some people will. I mean, it's not much of a road trip, but did you turn any of it into a road trip?
We've done that corridor
A lot.
a lot.
What's the secret?
Timing.
Go fast.
Not hit the Beltway in D.C. around rush hour. That'll add 3 hours.
Okay, fair.
That's pretty practical. Moving up here, used to have a Ford Ranger pickup, and I totally tortoise shell. It was like I looked like a snail. I pretty much had everything I owned and was bringing and just put like 3 tarps over it, and totally Beverly Hillbilly styled it with duct tape and tarps and everything I owned under it, and moved up here in a day and got here at like midnight. And
What brought you up here, or what forced you out of Virginia?
I met a girl playing a show up here and decided I was gonna move to New York City.
Classic story. Where's the girl?
She's at home right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with her 2 stepcats.
Oh, okay. Is she with you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, amazing. That story doesn't... I mean, I feel like the New York stories, you're like, met a girl, where's the girl? Doesn't matter.
Ben, how's your girl? What happened to her?
I have the same exact story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you both met girls that... Was that the same show, or was it different show?
Okay. Yeah, not the same exactly.
No, we were playing with different people. We didn't know each other until we lived in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
But we were living in the same city in
yeah,
Virginia.
we spent a long time. In the
Are you
same-
both from Virginia?
I was born and raised in Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up in New Hampshire and then lived in Virginia for 10 years.
So did the band form because you had similar partner stories, or how did you guys get together?
I think we were both kind of starting over in terms of music, having relocated here by ourselves independently.
Because you have 2 different backgrounds, right? Lou, you're into country and bluegrass, and Ben, you've got jazz horn?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how I grew up. I learned how to play music playing tenor saxophone.
Okay.
So drums is still an indomitable task for me, but it
you
came
really-
easy after like doing like those kind of chord changes and trying to solo over it. I was like, oh, I get to hit things now. Great.
I mean, you've pared it down to a snare, a brass, a tambo, and a kick drum.
yeah, there's still metal involved.
There's some metal on board. And how were you convinced to put down the sax and pick up the sticks?
Oh, it's easier to play with people, and that's kind of what happened with us. It was like, hey, you want to jam sometime, and then it worked really well and made us both happy. So
Yeah, no one was like begging for a sax player in a Brooklyn band.
no.
And then for you, for your background of country and bluegrass.
I grew up playing cello and guitar when I was little, and then picked up banjo as a teenager, and then got paid for the first time to play music playing banjo, being like a banjo sideman.
What was the gig?
It was a guy I knew in college who had a band, asked me to join his buddy's band, filling it out with like a fiddle player and a banjo player.
Was it a Dave Matthews or Bella Fleck cover band?
No, it wasn't. It was pretty traditional, pretty old. There's a huge amount of, that's, we were in Charlottesville, which is like kind of Appalachia adjacent, and everybody grew up playing, and all their daddies play and all their granddaddies play, and there's so many unbelievable musicians around there. And there's every corner bar has a crackerjack bluegrass band.
Got it. What was it? Do you remember the name of the band?
The first time I got paid $40 to play in Joe Mama's pajamas one night
at the Gravity Lounge. Yeah, it wasn't my band. I didn't name it. I didn't sing.
The Gravity Lounge is now a CVS, in case you're curious.
I am. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Common tale.
Yes, it is.
And how long did you play the banjo before you kind of swapped over to a guitar and started writing your own music?
I formed a band probably 2 or 3 years after that, and started writing songs and playing songs I'd written. Still playing banjo and doing kind of a heavier rock and roll, mountain rock and roll type thing. And then
what is mountain rock and roll?
It was something we made up because it was bluegrass with drums and electric guitars, and and then just got kind of just tired of playing bluegrass. Got tired of playing banjo. Just wasn't good enough to be nuts about it. Wasn't that super into the really technical stuff. It just had always grown up playing guitar and was more comfortable with it. So after getting paid to play banjo for a while, I figured maybe I could just play guitar and do more with it.
What is the most surprising thing about playing banjo that an uninitiated person wouldn't know that makes it so difficult or hard to master?
It's just so much right hand. It's so much finger picking. I mean, you can play it a bunch of different ways, and a lot of people do really. There's like claw hammer, and there's 3-finger style, and some people just strum it or play it like a guitar. I was really into Lester Flatt and doing the 3-finger style, and I used to just literally sit on the couch with the TV remote in my left hand and just do rolls with my finger picks with my right hands for hours and hours and hours. It's just muscle memory.
Okay,
building that up.
Can we hear a song?
Yeah.
What are you guys going to play for us first?
This is called Enough. It's the B-side of a 7-inch we put out February 17th on Warhen Records and Grand Jury Records.
Great. Here live on Snacky Tunes.
Still smoking cigarettes at my windowsill. I love you so much, and I always will. So I can barely keep from crying. What good's it gonna do for me to tell you how I feel? I know it's my own fault, and I'm unwell. Shouldn't hurt so bad when you're in love. Love should be enough. Love should be enough. True love should be enough. Maybe it's just the city getting to my mind. Rattling everything it's not nailed down inside. In my younger days, I've never known the shame of watching someone I really love feeling the same. What good you gonna do for me to tell you how I feel? I know it's my own fault. I'm unwell. Probably just keep my big mouth shut. Love should be enough. Love should be enough. Love, true love should be enough.
want to read a question that you guys sent over to me before the show. Salad. What's the deal?
What's the deal with salad?
What's the deal with salad?
Put everything in it these days.
I know.
I think it's just everybody's trying to get rid of bread, so they're just making big sandwiches and calling them salads.
They're just like, this is a salad. You're like, it's a pound and a half. I think you've missed the point.
Yeah, it's as long as you leave the bread out,
it's fine.
Salad.
It's just salad. So you work over at Greenpoint Fish and Lobster.
I do. I waited tables over there since they opened.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. Those boys are great. We've worked with them in the past.
It's a great institution.
What is a fan favorite over there of yours? What is probably one of the more underrepresented menu items?
The fish sandwich with French fries.
It's the best.
It's killer.
It's the best. I feel like it's one of the best deals in Greenpoint.
Yeah, it's certainly not the thriftiest thing happening.
Other than a $1 Jello shot at Capri Lounge.
Fine.
Ooh.
Okay. I think we're in two different worlds at that point. Yes, nothing can beat. Actually, my friend had a surprise birthday party there, and just cleared out the Jello shots, and it was like $22, and everyone was just done.
They make for the best mornings.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe like
you drink them in the morning. Is that what you mean?
Like you put it in your pocket.
Morning.
The next,
Sure.
it's like a to go. It's the only to go type of cup you can get.
Bathtub of Jello shots.
Bathtub of Jello shots. I mean, I wonder where in the hierarchy of Capri are you making Jello shots? Is it at the beginning? Like is that, or you work your way up because it's such a backbone iconic staple there? It's like no. Only Samantha makes the Jello shots.
I mean, I think it'd be a lauded position as the 6 p.m. slurp. Whoever gets the taste test that jungle juice.
I don't know. I watched most of Crocodile Dundee in there the other night with commercial breaks.
I mean, the place, if you haven't been, it's probably one of the last havens of best dive bars in Greenpoint.
It's a good one. There's a couple. Conio's is mine, if you've ever been there.
I've never. Where's that?
It's right around the corner from me.
It's under
Norman.
his house. It's in the basement.
It's pretty much under my house.
It's the sign outside my bedroom door.
Yes.
It's called Conio's.
It's terrific. If you go there, say hey to Barbara for me. Or Lou said hello. I'll tell her myself.
You guys have a recording project in the financial district.
Yeah, we were there all day yesterday.
What's the setup and why the financial district?
A friend of ours who's a producer had taken an interest in what we were up to next, and we said let's work with you in his room. It's called Full Tone Studios, and it's on Fulton.
No, you didn't have to say that. No, we got it. But I guess for the people not in New York, yeah.
It's fun down there. It's interesting. I got into the elevator yesterday at noon with an 18-pack of Miller Lite, and all the construction dudes were in there. And I was like, I couldn't find the door to the basement, and they were like, oh, come to the elevator. I walk in, the door closes, and they push 10. And then they all just cracked up at my expense. It's worth it.
And is it one of those things like before 5 you can't really do anything, but after 5 it's just kind of no noise problems, no nothing?
It's in the basement. I don't think there's much down there except for they have a couple Mouser cats in the hallways.
Yeah.
But there's not much going on otherwise. But it's just a big room. We're a 2-piece, so we like to use all the air, try not to like segment too much. We don't need a lot of space, but we were there for 10 hours yesterday tracking for.
What are you guys working on?
We just always keep working. So we just put out a 7-inch. We're thinking our next project is probably going to be a full length. So we just did a day in the studio, and we don't know what we have yet, but we'll see, and just keep every couple of weeks we'll book some studio time.
And the 7-inch came out, and you mentioned it before, in Grand Jury and Warhen Records. So how did you hook up with them, and why a 7-inch?
We had 2 songs that we really liked, so we put it on a piece of wax. Warren is Luke's buddy from Charlottesville for a long time. Real good dude. He used to do production at the Jefferson, which is like the biggest.
It's a big theater down there.
Yeah, it's nice.
And he had this boutique 7-inch label. So we had been touring. We did 2 southern trips last summer, touring, and we were coming back from one and booked some studio time at a small studio where I used to live that a buddy of mine runs. And so we just went in and recorded for 2 days before we came back to New York, and then started sending those tracks around. He wanted to put it on a 7-inch, and then we and Grand Jury wanted to put it out digitally.
Yeah, Craig and Robbie saw us open for Esme Patterson at Mercury Lounge, and we're like, hey. And we went on tour with her later that summer,
And so you're like,
Texas, New
hey,
Orleans
again.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said, hey, back.
It was super convenient. The run started in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
At some point, someone
So-
said, yo, or sup.
Sup. And then they just like slid a piece of paper with a shot of 2 shots of bourbon next to it, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Can we hear another song?
Plod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to play for us?
It's a song called Heaven's Full of Mules. We haven't put it out yet, but we've tracked it and probably will put it out.
Perfect.
Not too long.
Okay, here live on Snacky Tunes.
I'll start again tomorrow, selling off my days to pay for more that are still in store for me. I'll punch that clock tomorrow, bow before my boss, who can take away my needed pay if she wants. I've heard how lucky I am making honest wage, not worth a damn to anyone, just enjoying my days. We all live by Richard Mills rules. Heaven's full of mules. Heaven's full of mules. I'll start again tomorrow, selling off my days to pay for more that is still in store for me. I'll punch that clock tomorrow and bow before my boss. We can take away my need to pay if she wants. I've heard how lucky I am making honest wage, not worth a damn to anyone, enjoying my days. We all live by Richard Mintz rules. Heaven's full of mules. Heaven's full of mules. Heaven's full of mules. Heaven's full of mules.
Winstons are quoted as saying, wearing the band t-shirt to the band is a new power move. Explain.
Yeah.
It's my friend Adler. She's a gem.
We've had a couple of those. We like it.
Yeah.
It's undoing years of the opposite.
Right. No, we got a buddy Fernando who came to our release show and by the time we started, with the first time those T-shirts were available, he had purchased one, put it on, and was in the front row.
Better story about Fernando, not to try and one-up you, is that on New Year's Eve, Fernando proposed to his lady during our set. She said yes.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Fernando. Was he wearing the shirt?
But he was by himself at the... No, he didn't have the shirt yet. And he was by himself when he had the shirt, but I think they're still... I don't know.
I mean, January's not that... It's not that far away. It's not that far.
No, not that far. No, I think all is well.
Yeah.
But that is the new power move. We're buying the brand new band T-shirt, putting it on, and going to the front row.
Just so they know that you're a fan, not just because you're there, but you're there
Right.
for them.
Yes.
Right. It does feel good.
Yeah.
It's undeniable.
It definitely feels good, especially if you're not the headliner, so they know that they came for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. Boy,
Like
do we
you're
love
better.
not being the headliner.
We were headlining that night. Though,
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Apologies. So just Fernando, the T-shirt.
We should have not headlined our unreleased show. That would have been the real power move.
That is a real power. Actually, that is a real power move.
Maximum humility.
I think you play second to last, so you're the peak.
That's cool. And then you have
And then someone else
the after
plays-
party.
That's the after party. That's
We've had that move before, haven't we? I don't know.
How many releases have you had?
3?
As many as I can get.
Yeah.
Oh, in clear plastic masks. Our first tape, we had an after party. It was clear plastic masks.
Okay.
We were arguably the support for that. But,
For your own release party. Okay,
Arguably.
that's fine. So now you're tracking, but any tours coming up, hitting the road?
We're going back down to Virginia at the end of this month. And playing some shows down there.
yeah, we're going to
with,
go play our buddy Gold Connections release at the Southern in Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. Going to play most of our stuff around
They're doing a
there.
release on Fat Possum.
Yeah.
And we're going down there for that. And we're going to be in Jersey, right? And
Yeah, Jersey. Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
All the dirty towns.
Yeah, Jersey, Philly. Not Pittsburgh.
Probably Harrisonburg again.
Harrisonburg, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia.
Played a wonderful open mic in Harrisonburg. a couple
Were you
weeks ago.
booked in? Were you booked in for the open mic, or did you just stop by?
We were special guests. On
We had a
on
night
the-
off, but then we ended up... We got paid and fed and
It was
drank.
It was.
I mean, maybe I don't understand the concept of open mic, but how did you get booked for an open mic?
it was open, but other random people.
No, somebody
played
dropped out, right? And then we hopped out. We had a night off on the road. We had nothing better to do, and something fell in our lap. And we
This
took
is
it.
a curated
It
open
was
mic.
great.
I think it was the best show I've ever played.
Ever.
It's the best. It's the best open mic you've ever played.
Harrisonburg, Virginia, Clementines.
Yeah, best open mic.
No, it was Ruby's. It was downstairs.
Ruby's is
And
downstairs.
it's now a Dwayne Reed.
no, don't tell me that.
Well, I want to get one last question in, or more of a statement before you guys take us out. Sent from the band, eggs. They're just not for breakfast anymore. Discuss.
I eat eggs for every meal.
Yeah.
And my cholesterol
Yeah.
is happy.
I'll get a dozen eggs and I'll like hard boil half of them and just save them in the fridge for
Just because.
just a quick, healthy
I mean,
snack.
you put an egg on anything, man.
Right? You could put an egg on anything.
You could put it on a salad.
put it on a salad.
Ice cream.
You could call it egg by itself a salad.
Yeah, you could.
The classic trump card for you can put something on anything is ice cream. And vanilla ice cream with an egg on top, I think, with some salt would be really good.
Wow.
Okay.
Egg
Next-
ice cream.
Egg ice cream.
Breaking boundaries.
Well,
Just you guys wait.
we're going to make sure you guys have time for one more song. Where can people find you, get the 7-inch, find out updates, catch you on tour, catch you at open mics?
Winston's Band, everything. @.com, www.
Yeah. Everything's Winston's Band.
There's an S in there that people can't hear.
Winston's
Winston's.
Band.com/Winston's Band.
Perfect.
And no article. Never, ever an article. No the.
Or That's just inappropriate.
Yeah, it's inappropriate.
yeah, well, I mean, it would
Or
counteract.
these. We could be these Winstons.
These Winstons. It would counteract all rooms of grammar and
That's-
leave one of you out.
From now on, we shall be known as these Winstons.
That's pretty good.
Band.com.
What are you going to take us out with?
This is a song. Can you mildly curse on this?
Yes.
It's called Goddamn Goodbye.
You're fine. Well, thanks to everyone for being on the show today. We'll be back next week with another episode of Snacky Tunes. Take us out.
Thanks so much, listeners. Yeah, there's a new one. We haven't put it out anywhere yet, I don't think, but we will. We will. We're putting it out right now. Out of the universe.
and you pretended I was some other person. Kept walking home and kept it head. I could never look you in the eyes, babe, and say I'm leaving. I'm still on the run. And by now you've heard about what I've done. I can't change what happened. Can't change my ways. Talking about tomorrow, it's always today. But I can never look you in the eye and say I'm leaving. Baby, I can never look you in the eyes and tell you I'm leaving. I keep a picture of you. That's about all I got left. And I sleep there against my chest, and I know I'll never know again your kind of love, the way you forgave me, the way you forgive me. I could never look you in the eye. Baby, I could never look you in the eye. Baby, I could never look you in the eye and tell you I'm leaving. Say I'm leaving. Hey.
We talk about food, we talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. For our freshest content and to hear about exclusive events, subscribe to our newsletter. Enter your email at the bottom of our website, heritageradionetwork.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at heritage_radio. Heritage Radio Network is a nonprofit organization driving conversations to make the world a better, fairer, more delicious place. And we couldn't do it without support from listeners like you. Want to be a part of the food world's most innovative community? Rate the shows you like, tell your friends, and please join our community by becoming a member. Just click on the beating heart at the top right of our homepage. Thanks for listening.